easy way to dispel darkness is by introducing light. So I'm stopping by this morning to help introduce some light into your day. Also, to encourage you to turn on the light for both yourself and someone else. Let the light of Jesus Christ shine. Don't just watch this, but comment on it, share it, and also make your own post. Today is Tuesday, Testimony Tuesday. Share the goodness of the Lord with somebody. Today we're looking at 1 Kings chapter 19. We're starting at verse 11. It says this, "And he said, Go forth and stand upon the mount before the Lord. And behold, the Lord passed by, and a great and strong wind rent the mountains, and brake in pieces the rocks before the Lord. But the Lord was not in the wind, and after the wind an earthquake. But the Lord was not in the earthquake. And after the earthquake a fire. But the Lord was not in the fire. And after the fire a still small voice. And it was so, when Elijah heard it, that he wrapped his face in his mantle, and went out and stood in the entering in the cave. And behold, there came a voice unto him, and said, What dost thou here, Elijah?" This is a story where Elijah is finding himself hiding in a cave. He's been chased out of the place that he was by the false prophet and the false priestess Jezebel. He is now running for his life. He's terrified, and his depression has really kicked in. He's beginning to see and say things that aren't true. He's beginning to think that he is the only one left who loves and serves God. So he's in this cave, and he has this encounter where things begin to shake, and he's looking for this dynamic revelation of God. He's looking for something dynamic to be done in his life. And there's an earthquake, there's fire, and the scripture tells us that God was not in that. But then all of a sudden, Elijah hears a still small voice. Not nearly as dynamic as an earthquake, not nearly as dynamic as fire, not nearly dynamic as any of that stuff. But yet, God was still speaking. And it is after he realizes and recognizes this still small voice that he is able to begin to interact with God and deal with his current set of circumstances, his current situation. Here's the thing. Elijah is no different than us. We look for the dynamic. We want the dynamic. But how many times do we ignore the mundane, and how many times do we just overlook the small things that God does in our lives? I would say that most people are quick to give the devil credit for stuff he hasn't done, and slow to give credit for God for all that he has done. You know, you've heard it said, "Oh, well, the devil's been chasing me all day." Oh, people wear shirts that say, "Not today, Satan." And we don't acknowledge that God has done so many little things along the way that we haven't given him thanks for. Take a moment. Consider this. You are watching this with your eyes. God did that. You are watching this on a computer, a laptop, a phone. God provided that for you. You were able to hear what I'm saying because God did that. We often overlook the little things that God does. Our whole attitude and perspective would change if we would begin to give God thanks for the little things rather than waiting for this big dynamic thing to be done. God is able to speak to us in a still small voice just as much as he is able to speak to us through a rumbling, roaring voice. Consider the little things in your life that you have and acknowledge God because he's the one that gave them to you. If you want to know how to turn that light on in your day, start by giving God thanks for the little things, because everything that we have that is good is a blessing from God above. Blessings are not just financial, and blessings are not just dynamic. Everything that we have that is good is a blessing from God. And it's important for us to be a people of light. How do we do that? How do we stay being a people of light? We stay giving God thanks for all that he's done. We don't ignore the still small voice, and we don't settle for just the dynamic. We acknowledge him in all that we do, in all of our ways. We acknowledge him in all of our day. We acknowledge him. Take some time today and just thank God for the small things, for the little things that aren't maybe as dynamic as you would expect the movement of God to be. Consider what you have, consider where you are, consider the goodness of God, and take some time to say thank you. Share this, comment on it, make your own post. That's what I want to see. I want to see us introduce light into all of social media. So make your own post. today, share that and turn the light on for somebody. God bless you. Love you. Have a wonderful day.